A bunch of car companies swear they've improved reliability, yet owners keep reporting busted sensors and dumb electrical issues. Meanwhile, a small crew of brands is out here cruising past 200K like it's light work. Hey guys, this is Brian from CarLandTV, and today we're checking out the 7 SUVs in America with brake rates so low it almost feels unreal. The ones that stay dependable when everything else falls apart. But first, do me a quick favor, tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now, let's get back into it. Lexus. Lexus is the brand that pops into my head first when someone says, I want a car that just does not quit. I'm talking about a company that has receipts, not marketing fluff. In the 2025 J.D. Power Vehicle Dependability Study, Lexus ranked #1 for the third year in a row with about 140 problems per 100 vehicles, while the industry average sat around 202. That gap is huge, and it is based on 3 years of real owner data in the U.S., not vibes. On top of that, Consumer Reports' latest reliability rankings keep Lexus right at the top with Subaru and Toyota. They are looking at hundreds of thousands of owner surveys across 20 problem areas, and Lexus keeps coming back with above-average scores across multiple models. Hybrids and gas models from Lexus both test out as some of the most dependable setups, especially compared with newer EV platforms that are still having more issues on average. No cap that matters if you plan on keeping a car past the warranty. Then you look at long-term mileage studies and it gets even better. iSeeCars pulled data from well over 100 million vehicles and found Lexus sitting among the brands most likely to hit 250,000 miles, with cars like the Lexus IS showing roughly a 1 in 4 shot of making that mark. Japanese brands dominate that list, and Lexus is right there with Toyota and Honda. For anybody in the US or Europe who wants a buy it in 2026 and just maintain it kind of car, Lexus is easily in the GOAT conversation for longevity. Toyota. Toyota is the one brand I recommend to people who just want their car to work every single day with zero drama. The numbers back that up hard. In the 2024 J.D. Power Vehicle Dependability Study, Toyota grabbed the top spot among mass-market brands with around 147 problems per 100 vehicles, while many competitors are way higher. On top of that, more than half of the eligible Toyota and Lexus models placed in the top 3 of their segments, so this is across the lineup, not one lucky model. No cap, that is exactly what you want if you hate surprise repairs. Consumer Reports is saying the same thing in a different way. Their 2024 and 2025 reliability data put Toyota right behind Subaru and Lexus in overall brand reliability, and they also rank Toyota near the top for used car reliability, which means these cars stay solid even deep into their life. We're talking about data from hundreds of thousands of vehicles across 20 problem areas, so this is not fanboy talk. Even with some hiccups on newer trucks and SUVs, Toyota still sits 3rd overall in CR's latest ranking, which tells me the long-term engineering is still on point. Long life is where Toyota really starts flexing. eCar's 2025 longest-lasting study looked at tens of millions of vehicles and found Toyota is the brand most likely to hit 250,000 miles, with rigs like the Sequoia, 4Runner, Highlander Hybrid, and Tundra all way above the industry average. Some of those have a 30% or higher chance of seeing 250,000 miles, which is wild compared to the normal 4.8%. If I am picking something in 2026 to keep until it is basically vintage, Toyota is an easy bet. Subaru. Looking at the latest reliability data, what jumps out to me about Subaru is that the numbers are on their side.
Consumer Reports 2024-2025 brand rankings put Subaru in the top spot for overall reliability, ahead of Lexus and Toyota based on hundreds of thousands of vehicles and 20 problem areas. That same testing named Subaru the most reliable brand and best overall automotive brand for 2025, with core SUVs like the Outback, Forester, Crosstrek, and Ascent all earning recommended status. When I dig into long-term durability, the story still holds. iCars looked at more than 170 million vehicles and found the Subaru Outback has about a 22% chance of reaching 250,000 miles, compared with an SUV average of around 15%. That means an Outback is roughly 1.5 times more likely to clear that milestone than the average utility. For a family hauler or commuter rig, those are the kind of odds I want backing me up.
I also pay attention to the weak spots people worry about, like the CVT. Early Subaru Lineartronic CVTs from around 2010 to 2015 had enough issues that Subaru extended the warranty to 10 years or 100,000 miles on many models. Newer CVTs were revised, and current reliability data from Consumer Reports lines up with that, showing Subaru SUVs performing well. So yes, there were problems, but the updated hardware and the latest owner data point to a brand that learned and tightened things up. Honda. When someone wants a safe pick that will just handle daily life without acting up, Honda SUVs are right in my recommendation stack. In the UK's 2025 What Car in a Reliability survey, Honda took the #1 spot with a 96.6% score based on over 32,000 owners across 30 brands and 227 models, and most faults were cheap or fixed for free and handled in a day or less. That lines up with what Motor Trend is seeing too, with Honda now ranking above average again in brand reliability after a dip a few years back. No cap, that tells me the recent stuff is trending the right way, not coasting on the old reputation. On the long life side, the numbers look solid. cars and follow-up pieces in outlets like Auto Week and Road and Track show the Honda Pilot and CR-V on the list of vehicles most likely to hit 250,000 miles. The Pilot sits around a 13% chance and the CR-V around 10 to 11%, while the average vehicle only has about a 4.8% shot. In plain English, those SUVs are roughly 2 to almost 3 times more likely to see 250K than a random crossover, which is exactly what I want backing me if I plan to keep a rig long term. Current owner feedback is strong too. J.D. Power's 2024 ratings put the CR-V at the top of the compact SUV segment, and Honda has started adding complimentary scheduled maintenance on newer CR-Vs, which helps keep people on top of service. At the same time, I keep an eye on known issues like the NHTSA probe into older 3.5-liter V6 models and that big Accord hybrid recall, but those are specific engines and years. For someone buying a 2026 CR-V, HR-V, or Pilot and doing basic maintenance on time, Honda is still a very safe bet, ops to anyone sleeping on that. Mazda sits in a sweet spot for me. You get that fun-to-drive feel, but the reliability numbers are actually legit, not marketing talk. In the 2025 J.D. Power Vehicle Dependability Study, Mazda posted 161 problems per 100 vehicles, which put them second among all mass-market brands, right behind Buick and ahead of Toyota. They also improved by 24 pp100 and jumped 4 spots in 1 year, which tells me the newer stuff is tightening up, not sliding backward. The same study calls out the CX-5 and CX-9 as top performers in their segments, so the SUVs are pulling weight, not just a random sedan carrying the brand. On the Consumer Reports side, Mazda is sitting around 6th for new car reliability and 3rd for used car reliability in the latest brand rankings, with many of its crossovers getting recommended and above average scores. They also rank Mazda 8th for maintenance and repair costs, which means people are not bleeding out on constant shop visits. That lines up with What Car's Family SUV survey in the UK, where the petrol Mazda CX-5 from 2017 to 2025 scored about 98.4% for reliability, which is near the top of that list. For a compact SUV that regular people use daily, those are strong receipts, no cap. For long-term life IC cars data shows the Mazda CX-9 with roughly a 12.4% chance of hitting 250,000 miles, about 1.4 times the average vehicle. That is not Sequoia level, but for a three-row crossover, it is solid. I do keep in mind Mazda's recent recalls on some CX-30 and Mazda 3 airbag sensors and traction control software, but those are being fixed under warranty and do not change the big picture. If someone asks me for a 2026 CX-5 or CX-30 that is fun and still built to last, I feel good saying, bet. Acura. Acura is where I send people who want some luxury vibes but still care a lot about whether the thing survives past year 8. Under the skin, you are basically getting Honda engineering with nicer interiors, and the data backs that up. Consumer Reports has Acura sitting in the upper half of all brands for 2025 and around 7th among luxury marques with predicted reliability at average or better on its core models. They also put Honda and Acura together in the top group for used car reliability, so the old ones are holding up. On SUVs specifically, the MDX and RDX are the reason Acura even makes this list for me. IC Car's 2025 longest-lasting study, which crunched data from over 170 million vehicles, shows the Acura MDX with about a 9.1% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. The average vehicle is only at 4.8%. So the MDX is roughly twice as likely to clear that mark, and other write-ups put well-cared-for MDXs in the 200,000 to 250,000 range pretty routinely, with some owners pushing 300,000 miles. That is real longevity, not brochure talk. I do not ignore the downsides. U.S. safety regulators reopened a probe into about 1.4 million Honda and Acura vehicles over potential engine failures tied to connecting rod bearings, and that is mostly older V6 stuff, not fresh 2026 builds. At the same time, Acura gives you a longer warranty than Honda. 4 years or 50,000 miles basic, and 6 years or 70,000 miles on the powertrain, which helps cover those oops, something broke moments. Put it together, and Acura SUVs land as luxury with real staying power, not just a badge flex. Hyundai has turned into one of those sleeper SUV picks for me where the data looks better than the old reputation. In the UK, the 2025 What Car Reliability Survey gave the Hyundai Santa Fe a straight 100% score for 2018 to 2024 models, and the little i10 also hit 100%. That survey pulled feedback from around 30,000 owners across 30 brands, so when two Hyundais land at the very top, that says the hardware is behaving in real use, no cap. On the broader quality side, Hyundai Motor Group as a whole is cooking. In the 2025 J.D. Power Initial Quality Study, Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis together ranked first as a group, with Hyundai itself scoring well above the industry average on problems per 100 vehicles. Earlier dependability studies had Hyundai at around 148 pp100 versus an industry average of around 192, which means fewer issues in the first 3 years than many rivals. Consumer Reports still keeps Hyundai around the middle of the pack overall for new car reliability, but specific SUVs like Kona and Tucson pull solid predicted reliability scores and land near the top of their segments. Bet that matters if you are buying new and planning to keep it. I do not ignore the asterisk. Older GDI engines and some dual-clutch transmissions had enough trouble that Hyundai took heat for engine failures. And the 2024 Santa Fe DCT even got a recall with an estimated 100% defect rate, which is wild. For 2026, Hyundai is dropping that DCT from the Santa Fe gas models and swapping in an 8-speed torque converter automatic, which should be calmer to live with.
There is also a big seatbelt latch recall on 2020 to 2025 Palisades, but that is being fixed free at dealers. So if I am looking at a fresh 2026 Santa Fe, Tucson, Kona, or Palisade with that long 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty behind it, Hyundai sits in a pretty safe lane for an SUV you actually drive daily. Kia is one of those brands where I actually tell people, yeah, the new stuff is legit, just be smart about which years you touch. On the new side, the numbers are decent. Consumer Reports has Kia sitting around 7th overall in 2025, 3rd among mainstream brands, and 9th for new car reliability, with models like the Telluride pulling strong road test scores in the 90s and solid predicted reliability. Motor Trend also points out that Kia's J.D. Power dependability score is about 187 problems per 100 vehicles, which is better than the industry average and even a notch cleaner than Hyundai. No cap, that is respectable for a brand everyone used to clown. In Europe and the UK, the picture lines up. What Car's 2025 Reliability Survey, which pulls feedback from around 30,000 owners, shows the 2016 to 2021 Kia Sportage Petrol at roughly 93%, and the current Sorento around 92% for reliability. Those are strong scores in a crowded SUV field. EC Car's long-lasting SUV list even calls out the Sorento as one of the more affordable models with a real shot at 250,000 miles, which fits with what I see on high-mileage classifieds. Add in the 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty in the US and Canada, and you get a decent safety net if you plan to keep it. I do not sugarcoat the weak spots. Consumer Reports Used Car Study ranks Kia near the bottom for 5 to 10-year-old vehicles, so older, neglected Kias can be rough. On top of that, you have real recalls, like the 2021 to 2024 K5 sedans over fuel tanks that can deform near the exhaust, and around 39,000 Sorento LX with HVAC wiring that can overheat and potentially start a fire. Those are being fixed for free at dealers, but they don't matter. So my take is simple. A well-maintained new or recent Telluride, Sorento, Sportage, or Seltos in 2026 is a pretty fair bet, but I am picky as hell with older used Kias, and I always check recall and service history first.